couple more minutes till 7 p.m. Chief Shores, is it okay if we do the pending ceremony after the executive session? Okay, you can blame Robbie Ward on that.
I serve at the pleasure of the mayor.
Those of you officers who are getting pinned and those who are not, it goes without saying, our debt of gratitude to the police department for what they do and the image that they project in this community. We thank you. We appreciate you. And for slowing down those speeders on Harris Trail. It is now 7 p.m. I call the September 7th, 2021 City Council meeting to order. We begin with an invocation by Chief Shores and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Cox.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your many wonderful gifts, and we ask for your wisdom and your guidance in all that we do, that it will be done right, that it will be done very well, and most of all, it will be pleasing to you. In Jesus' name.
All recognitions are special. This one is more so because it's touches home a little bit. Proclamation recognizing September 2021 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas childhood cancer is a leading cause of death by disease in children, and whereas 1 in 285 children in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer by his or her 20th birthday, and whereas the American Cancer Society estimates that 11,050 new cases of childhood cancer are expected to occur among children ages 14 and younger this year, and whereas 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will have long-lasting chronic conditions as a result of the treatment they go through, and whereas researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently to dedicate their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer, and whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness and find a cure for all childhood cancers, and whereas the determination and bravery with which these children fight their battles against cancer should be recognized and commended by all, and whereas it is vital that those affected by childhood cancer have access to quality, affordable care, and that research of all forms of childhood cancer continues to be vigorously supported. Whereas the city of Richmond Hill honors the children who have fought and are continuing to fight so bravely against this terrible disease. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Russ Carpenter, do hereby proclaim September 2021 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Richmond Hill and call this observance to the attention of all of our citizens. I'm going to present this recognition to Councilmember Cox.
Mayor, can I just add to that this is also Suicide Prevention Month, and Blood Cancer Awareness Month, and having lost relatives to both is special.
Thank you, Councilmember. Chief Shores.
I get to do one of the things tonight. I was meeting with Sergeant Green, his wife, earlier, and I said, you know, all the tasks that I get to do, this is probably my favorite. I would love to be a part of the process that rewards people who have earned it and they've worked really hard. I'm going to talk to you for just a minute about Richard Green. Most people don't know me, Richard. Everybody knows him as Bubba. But I'm still trying to figure out, literally he goes by Bubba. And I'm trying to figure out how a dude from Connecticut got the nickname Bubba. I still haven't figured that out. How somebody from up there got it. But Bubba, if you'll come on up, we'll just stand up here. Bubba's been with us since 2018. Just to give you a little history, I had the privilege of working with him in Savannah when I was part of the Savannah Chatham Metropolitan Police Department. And he had already gone through the correction system and worked with their CERT team, which is the emergency response team for prisons. He had that experience. He was already a qualified state certified EMT when he got to Savannah. We worked together there. He was on the crime suppression unit, on the SWAT team and all that, so he was well known. So he already had a great reputation. I enjoyed working with him, and I came out here and we talked a little bit about him coming. I knew what we were getting. I knew what I was getting, so I was like, yeah, please come and bring 3 or 4 of your friends. So he's been out here with us 3 years now. He's literally brought 3 or 4 of his friends. So we've got almost a whole ship of really quality people like that. So now he's working on our SWAT team, and he's working on patrol. And now he was working as a detective when Captain Potts, at his recommendation, we selected Bubba to now be the sergeant over CID. So he handles all the cases and all those things that the CID sergeant would handle. As you know, in times past, when we talked about badge meeting, we talked about how important support is. So I'm asking his wife, Lauren, to come up. You know, if anybody does this for a long period of time knows that you have to have a support group, particularly your spouse. So, and Bubba always talks so highly about you, which I'm sure we already. So, it's just rock solid. So, if you will, just go ahead and pin that thing on.
We'll give our distinguished guests time to move out of here before we begin the rest of our meeting. Congratulations, Paula. Council, next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Councilmember Fussell. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Cox. All in favor? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Scholar. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Ward. All in favor? Motion carries. Next up, planning and zoning, Scott Allison.
Evening.
First, we have a couple of public hearings for your role as the Board of Zoning Appeals. Let's look this up in those.
I know I'll open up the Planning and Zoning Appeals Board.
First, we have public hearings. Petition has been filed with the City of Richmond Hill by Gary Ludwig requesting a variance to Article 6, Section 6.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance on rear setbacks. It's to allow a screened-in patio to be located 27 feet from the property line instead of the required 30-foot minimum. The property is located at 142 Stevens Street and is zoned R2 low-density single-family district. Council or board, you have within your packet the location of the property along with the variance application by Mr. Ludwig with the attachment for the hardship and the description of the reason for the variance. We've also included a sketch, as it said in the petition, and as you can see on the sketch, what they're asking for is to encroach an additional 3 feet, so 27 feet from the rear of the property as opposed to the required 30. We've had a couple of these in this neighborhood. A lot of times it's the patio, the concrete patio that exists. They want to screen that in. That patio sits a little bit back into the setback requirement because they're putting a vertical appurtenance up. It encroaches into it. The applicant is here and can speak on it. If you have any questions, we typically do that after the public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this agenda item? Hearing none, I hereby close the public hearing and reopen our city council meeting. My bad, we were back into it. I thought we were doing two at once. We're back. We're still in public hearing.
Second one we have is a petition that has been filed with the City of Richmond Hill by Georgia Living Station requesting a variance to Article 7, Section 7.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance on minimum side setback requirements to allow an existing restroom/bathhouse to have a 0 side setback instead of the required 20-foot minimum. The existing building is located on Gandy Dancer and Station Exchange and is zoned C2 downtown commercial. You guys have within your packet the application. We provided an aerial. If you're familiar with the building, I've also provided you with an image of it. It's the restroom, existing bathhouse back at the Station Exchange in that area. It has been in a common area throughout the existence. What they're trying to do is create an out parcel so that can be transferred over to the actual Sweet Station Exchange for their use for storage and the like. But that does require a variance because of where the other properties for the parking lot and the clock tower building are, the way those have been parceled out. There's no room in the existing building. It would require a 0 setback. Representative for the applicant is here as well. If you have
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak for or against?
I'm just here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, and in just a few minutes, sir, if we have any questions, we'll ask those.
that's it for public hearings.
All right. Again, we are out of the public hearing and back into our city council meeting.
All right, so first we have the disapproval of the petition filed with the City of Richmond Hill by Gary Ludwig requesting a variance, Article 6, Section 6.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance on rear setbacks to allow a screened-in patio to be located 27 feet from the property line instead of the required 30 feet minimum. The property is located at 142 Stevens Street and is zoned R2 low-density single-family district. And then to answer any questions you have, and Mr. Ludwig is here.
Council, do you have any questions?
Is the patio already existing today, or does that need to be poured?
The slab is already there, sir.
That's already there. Okay, so this is established.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Council, any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Fussell. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Scholar. All in favor? The motion carries.
Next, we have the disapproval of the petition filed with the City of Richmond Hill by Georgia Living Station requesting a variance to Article 7, Section 7.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance on minimum side setback requirements to allow an existing restroom/bathhouse to have a 0 side setback instead of the required 20-foot minimum. The existing building is located on Candy Dancer and Station Exchange and is zone C2 downtown commercial.
Council, any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Fussell. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Ward. All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, moving to the city council items, as far as a verbal report for the planning commission, they reviewed and made a recommendation for approval for the item for consideration that you have before you tonight. Moving forward, we have a item for consideration. It's the disapproval of the preliminary plat submitted by Darren Foy with RDC Incorporated for the Buttonwood subdivision to be located on the corner of Harris Trail and Timber Trail with map and parcel number 054-06804. For those of you that were either on planning commission at the time or on city council, this project's been around for quite a number of years. You have within your packet a location map showing it on the corner of Harris and Timber, as well as the preliminary plat. And this is subsequent to the approval that was provided in 2018 for the master plan revision of the property. Nothing is against what was approved at that time. It's 15 lots, single family detached. I've included that approval, and so the details provided with it is in keeping with the entitlement on the property. And that was in 18, and most recently, you guys may remember that there was a payment in lieu of for some tree removal on this particular portion of the property, and that was approved earlier this year.
Council, any questions?
It will be at the time of
Council, any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary plat.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Scholar. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Fussell. All in favor? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Scott. No new business?
Mayor, under new business, I would like to bring up the subject, the Mulberry subdivision. We've been asked to put in a little library and the green space. I shared that with all the council members, got positive response on that, so they're going to move forward with that.
Thank you for that communication and for taking that, project and seeing it to fruition, Councilmember. We got the best council we've had in 12 years. They're a whole lot better than when I was on the council.
Here, here.
One of our public comments was Ms. Davis, and she notified us that she would not be able to be here. We also have Dr. Karen Bowles Grant, who is here to come to speak with us. Dr. Grant.
I'll be brief. Good evening.
Hey, Karen.
All right, I sent, probably about 2 weeks ago, I sent an email to each of you. It was a joint email to all of you. All got it at the same time. And I was patiently waiting in our board with the family nonprofit for an answer. So since we didn't get an answer to the email, they asked me to come to the meeting tonight to ask for a response. The subject of the email was the $3.8 million that was won from the lawsuit filed against the county. And in the news release, it said that a portion of that money would go to parks and park improvement. So my question to you is the same question that I had in the email. Is any of that money being allocated to the completion of Bowles Park, which has been on the table since 2004?
And we usually don't answer public comments, but the subject of your comments was family matters. So I think family can have a discussion, council. Are y'all okay with it? And as I thought I had answered back, or at least texted you back, the money from the county is very specific. And as I understand, what was going to be spent on parks was for a bridge or repairs at J.F. Gregory. However, council, and this is this is just coming about, would certainly be willing to find some funding to add to some improvements in a phase 2 project there at Bowles Park.
Well, just looking at how parks are funded, not just here, but everywhere in the United States. SPLOST money, which 2 SPLOST were written for the city of Richmond Hill in the past for completion of Bowles Park, which it never got spent on Bowles Park. So I know you continuously have SPLOST money coming in, and that's legal. And then you have a general fund, which from my experience of handling school board's money, that's the money you can shuffle here, there, and everywhere. So please look at your general fund, and please look at your SPLOST money. It's been a lot of years, 2004, it's been a hard journey. I must say that this council and this mayor has worked with us more than any other council and mayor since 2004, and our family is very appreciative of that. But we're getting weary, okay? And I appreciate you letting me.
Karen, do you want to say anything about Saturday?
Yes, Saturday, for those who don't know, we went the legal route in our family, developed a nonprofit organization. We are 501(c) certified with Internal Revenue, ID number and everything. And we're sponsoring a sale, a dinner sale. The last one went off well. Hopefully this one will be even better. Donald Singleton is our barbecue master, and he knows what he's doing. John Bride, who does the Canaan Baptist Church barbecues, is another barbecue master. He knows what he's doing. And all the old ladies in Brisbane, 60 plus, do the signs, okay? This time we're adding another piece to it. I have a cousin on my mother's side from Riceboro who is a professional chef, and she's doing shrimp and grits.
I heard that rumor.
So come out. We're starting at 11 on 9/11, and we decided on that date in commemoration of my brother, Sergeant Harry Lee Bowles. Even though it's not 9/11 linked, he was killed in Vietnam, October 3rd, 1969. So that patriotic spirit is what's. You'll see flags out there. I did that today in memory of my brother. Thank you all.
Karen, for those that don't know, where is it being held?
Oh, it's being held at Bowles Park on Harris Trail. Just look for the big green tank.
Karen, thank you for all you do for the city. Next up is city manager.
Mayor, I've got 2 items tonight. Both of them were discussed in the workshop, I believe. First one we talked about was the remarking and restriping at Harris Trail and Timber Trail. The feedback I got back was to do away with the delineators, which was done. So that it ended up with the price being $8,720 for the permanent or the pavement markings and improvements to that intersection without the delineators. So that's a SPLOST project, so we need to get approval, disapproval for that. Yeah, so whoever with the low ones, I don't have a photo. I think it's about.
Council, any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Oh, okay.
So the issue with that is good now, so John, you can see that concrete thing there in the middle, will it be paved, will that make it?
It should make it more visible. Right. The striping, it's going to be, if you look at the sheet, it's going to be all reflective in front of it. Those white markings on that side and then around the edges. So yes, to answer your question, it'll be a lot more visible. Yeah. Outside edge, and to see where it's white now, that's all faded today, right? And so all that white will be reflected.
Council, any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion on the floor.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Scholar. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Cox. All in favor? Motion carries.
All right, the last item I have is for the approval of Tyson Utilities Construction for change order number 2, resulting in a net contract deduction of $208,543.73. This is the infrastructure project out of the Great Geechee Parkway. And when you look at the last page of your packet, you can kind of see where the reduction came from. A good bit of it was a silt fence, and we got a reduction on that. The main one is the credit for the city paying for the pumps. So I don't want to make it sound like it's better than it is, and we got $208,000 credit. Well, some of it's because we paid it in a different way. GFA loans require that our contracts match what we spend, so that's why we're having to do the reduction in the contract.
Council, any questions? Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Councilmember Ward. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Fussell. All in favor? Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Hearing no new business, we will be going into executive session for legal and real estate matters. I believe Councilmember Scholar has a motion to make to that effect.
Yes, Mayor, I make the following motion that this mayor and council now enter into closed session as allowed by OCGA 50-14-4 and pursuant to advice by the city attorney for the purpose of discussing the following legal and real estate matters. That this body in open session adopt a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor or presiding officer to execute an affidavit in compliance with OCGA 50-14-4, and that this body ratify the actions of the council taken in closed session and confirm that the subject matters of the closed session were within exceptions permitted by the open meetings law, said resolution to be in the form as attached here to.
We have a motion made by Councilmember Scholar. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Fussell. All in favor? We are now in executive session. We will retire to the Henderson room upstairs.